to figure that out, which we'll do, and that doesn't take place until day of game. So yeah, we have to do that with all of them. I mean, you're going on game 8 in 10 days, so we have to be mindful of all that, and we will be, and we'll see who's available.
Okay, let's go back to Matt here.
Matty Ramirez, White Miller Review. I apologize for ignoring your warning last night and looking at it the wrong side of the fence, but this is 30 runners left on base in 2 games. I'm wondering if you're seeing a trend that concerns you in the quality of the at-bats that you're having with runners in scoring position?
You know, I mean, I'm sure, I guess. I mean, but I don't really know how to answer that. I mean, we're the best offensive team in the country, and when you lead the country in on-base percentage, you're going to leave more runners on base. I feel part of the credit has to go to the pitcher at times, and I think it was Purnell did a nice job, you know, inducing the ground ball for the double play. But yeah, we got our guys. You know, we're not going to bring in a bunch of free agents for tomorrow night. It's a 27-man roster, and I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that.
Okay, we have a question back here. Thanks, Claire.
Jacques Doucet, WAP-TV. Coach, I noticed the meeting with the team after the game was brief. Is it just a case you're not going to talk much about this game and immediately move on to tomorrow?
No, we just chose to do it in the locker room. It was a long day out there and not a great day. And so I want to get them out of the sun, get them back to the hotel. There's a real physical grind of this thing that, you know, some of these guys are going through. And so we want to get them hydrated, rested, out of the sun, and get a full day and a half to recover. For us, playing a day game to a night game is almost the equivalent of an off day because we haven't had many of those here, and that's a good thing for our team.
Okay. Wilson.
Jay, Jordan Thompson had those 2 tough errors early. Do you plan to stick with him, and how do you go about coaching him through that?
Yeah, he'll play tomorrow. There's no question about it. He started every game for 2 years. He's played very good shortstop this year. I think the simplicity of the first one is, you know, on a double play ball, we call it's a sure man and then a quick man. The guy that fields the ball has to be sure he's going to catch it and then feed it to the second baseman, and then let the second baseman be the person that's quick. I think he came up too early, trying to do too much. You know, they put some pressure on us, you know, with first and second, nobody out. And so that's just a coaching point of securing the first out. And then on the second one, it's just a case of trying to do too much and, you know, trying to wheel and back pick. I'm not really sure where he was throwing it, to be honest with you. And so you coach on those 2 points. And, yeah, I mean, I love Jordan. We wouldn't be in the College World Series, you know, without Jordan and how he's played this year. He's had a tough tournament offensively, but there's been a lot of stories in the College World Series of guys struggle, and then get a big hit for you and make a big play for you. And I think he's a great candidate for that.
Okay, Brendan back here.
Brendan Preisman, Omaha World Herald. Coach, you mentioned that you haven't yet decided whether or not Scanes is going to be on the bump tomorrow. Whether or not he is, how are you and your staff planning on taking care of the mistakes like the errors and the walks that sort of plagued you guys defensively today?
Yeah, you get a complete reset. I don't know what our fielding percentage in the NCAA tournament was going in today, but I'm guessing it was pretty good. You know, we're not in a place where we're going to go out and hit a bunch of ground balls on the concrete and those types of things. We need to get these guys rested, get their bodies underneath, you know. And for us, you know, it's about playing in character. And, you know, when I look at this record of, you know, Florida's 54-16, they do a good job and they make it hard on you. We're 53-17. And if you're 53-17, you've done a heck of a lot more right than wrong. And so we're going to stick to how we prepare and roll it out tomorrow and give it everything that we have. You know, it's one game for the national championship. I think Coach O'Sullivan probably feels great about his team, you know, as he should with the players they have. I feel great about my team with the players that we have.
I'll go to Koki here.
Koki Riley with The Advertiser. Coach, with Jordan, do you think he's just pressing too much mentally? And what do you need to do to sort of help a guy get through those sort of struggles?
Yeah, I mean, you know, trying to do too much is not a plan. And, you know, so we'll continue to help him with that. I feel like his at-bats last night were much better. I think he's played good defense here, really good defense until today. I actually don't think there's been any carryover between offense and defense, and at his position, along with catcher, you have to play the game that way, and I'm proud of him for doing that. So we're just going to coach him and get him ready to go for tomorrow.
Okay, Michael, this will be our last questions for Jay.
Are uncharacteristic losses this lopsided easier to get over, to get through, to get past, or are they all the same?
You know, it is what it is. You know, I mean, I've had a super regional game relatively similar to this, and then we turned the score around on the team in game 3. You know, it happens all the time in our league, you know, in 2 out of 3 series, which is like a super regional college World Series game. It's obvious. I mean, you know, look at the 2 teams that are playing. They're the 2 best teams in college baseball. And, yeah, I won't give it any thought. You know, I mean, would I've liked it to been different? Yeah, I think we were prepared to play at the beginning of the game. And then, you know, we asked Nate to get out there and give us everything he could. He really emptied the tank 4 days ago. It didn't quite have it the same, you know. And then Gavin, I mean, let's be honest, credit Evans for getting the swing on it, but that ball would have easily been foul had the wind not shifted, but the wind shifted. And if I could fix the wind the way that I wanted to, I'd probably be doing different things, a lot of different things. But really excited about tomorrow night, and I believe the players are too.
Okay, Jay, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
And that was Jay Johnson, Gavin Dugas, and Dylan Cruz, who spoke a little bit to the media. I mean, there's not too much you can say. I mean, LSU lost 24-4, but the beauty of it is it's best 2 out of 3. It's 1 game to 1. You've got 1 game to win it all. Baseball's a funny game. One day, everything goes your way. You get the breaks. The next day, it can be an avalanche. And Florida's a very talented ball club. I saw both these teams in Hoover. I thought Florida was the best team in the country when I saw them. We'll see if they can prove that tonight. But the interesting thing is Paul Skeens. Now, Skeens had probably his worst start of the year in Hoover when LSU struggled, and he struggled at the beginning of that game and didn't pitch very well. And so LSU and Florida, neither one of them won the SEC tournament. As we know, they both went home. Vanderbilt won it all, but then they lost in their own regional. So baseball's a very cruel game, but I'm just going to be honest. Paul Skeens has been the best and most dominant pitcher in college baseball this year. He didn't win the Golden Spikes Award. His own teammate Dylan Cruz did, the outstanding center fielder. But if I'm LSU, I'm going to start Paul Skeens, probably put him on a pitch count. I think it's more important to get off to a good start in the 3rd game and build a lead and then set your other arms up. Now, there is a report out there about Riley Cooper having a stomach bug. We'll see. I mean, he was definitely going to be available tonight, sans health, because he's just been probably LSU's best reliever down the stretch. He's a transfer from Arizona that pitched in the College World Series for Jay Johnson when they were both there. Now, we can ask Glenn West about that. Glenn is going to join us in just a few minutes. He is from Go 24/7, GEAUX, and, of course, he is a colleague of our good friend Sonny Ship, who we featured on this show last week. Glenn is their senior writer. He has, been with Rivals.com covering LSU. He has been, in various forms of media covering the Tigers in his career, and we are going to definitely catch up with him as he has moved over to Go 24/7, and we look forward to really getting his thoughts on things because, again, it's just going to be a situation where both teams, I think, are pretty well set up pitching-wise. Both of these are great offenses. I'm still going to go with Florida just simply because I picked them before the College World Series, but this could go in many different directions. It'll be really interesting to see because guys like Cade Beloso, who's coming off of an ACL, has been a tremendous story for LSU this year, coming back from that injury. Guys like Dugas, who we don't really know if they were going into the fall were huge parts of the plan, but he's had an outstanding year. But it's unsung heroes. Ty Evans, 5 home runs, tying the all-time record for the Gators. He's had a bunch of big hits, no question about that. So it's always some of those unsung guys that step up and win you a College World Series, and that's what may have to happen tonight. and we will see because, Shellnut, Tyler Shellnut, he's had a bunch of big hits for Florida as well. And but Florida finally got that middle of the order going last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, in Wyatt Langford, 5 for 5, Caglione, 3 for 6, Rivera, 2 for 7, also had a home run. All three of them did. So we'll see if they can carry that over to today, and that's what's going to be the big key because Florida's going to need that middle of the lineup. Whichever middle of the lineup can get some big hits is who's going to win this thing. And then whether it's Skeens, whether it's Riley Cooper, somebody's going to have to step up. Ockenhausen did early for LSU earlier in the tournament. Didn't have it yesterday. But who's going to step up for them? Is Caglione, who will probably get the ball for Florida. Is he going to step it up and throw to his capabilities because he has great stuff? But lately in the postseason, he hasn't been great. So it's going to be really fascinating to see how this final game ultimately unfolds. And we're going to preview it with Glenn West. Glenn West of Go 24/7 is going to join us, and we're going to talk to him next when we come back on this Monday edition of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio. But before we go, we want to tell you, please go visit our sponsors and patronize them. We wouldn't be here without them, and that is, of course, Alumni Hall, part of alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall for many years was just down from the Apple store and at the Bridge Street Town Center. They have now moved next to Belk temporarily, and by early August they will be in their new digs next to Buckle. But right now they're next to Belk, and they can take care of all of your Alabama and Auburn needs. And if you need to get a gift for another team besides Alabama and Auburn, you can certainly go to alumnihall.com. They have a network of sites. They have very reasonable shipping. They have UPS shipping. They have economy shipping. And then if you spend $100 and you sign up for their email list and become a member, which is free, you get free shipping there. But again, and also they have a Hall Pass rewards program that you're a part of, where for every $150 you spend, you get 10 free bucks. Let me make sure I say that correctly. 10 free bucks that you can stack. And so Alumni Hall takes care of all your needs. Go see Andy and the whole crew there in Huntsville, and they will take care of all of your Alabama and Auburn needs. But we're going to go on a break. When we come back, Glenn West of Go 24/7 going to join us live from Omaha and preview this national championship game, Game 3, LSU and Florida next here on this Monday edition of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio. I'm D Squared.
The Blitz has been called.
Heary, heary! If you want freedom and independence from those high temperatures and those high utility bills, there's only one place to give a ring to, and that is Talent Heating and Air. Thomas with us from Talent Heating and Air. And Thomas, you've got the independence and the declaration to give customers those breaks.
That's right. We're offering free second opinions and service calls starting at $17.76.
$17.76 for those service calls. And there's only one phone number to call, and that is
256-503-4490.
It's Talent Heating and Air. You can also find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air, giving you the independence and freedom on this 4th of July from those high temperatures and high utility bills.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm in the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Guys, music can inspire us. Let the concert quality sound system at Zoom Indoor Cycling help push you harder than you ever thought possible. No matter if you're a beginner or an experienced rider, you'll ride top-of-the-line Stages SC3 bikes as the most talented instructors in North Alabama motivate you to reach your goals.
You can do it!
Zone Indoor Cycling is this week's Zone deal. Get a $100 certificate for just $50. Get yours now at 977ESPN.com. $2 specialty shoe rental per ride for new riders.
The Atlanta Braves are rolling, and this loaded roster's on a mission to bring home their 6th straight division crown.
Swung on, lifted high and deep to left center field. Go ball. Back to the wall. Jokes. That ball is gone. Home run, Ozzie.
Tonight, the Braves are back in town, and Truist Park is open for business as Sean Murphy and the Braves take on the Minnesota Twins. Braves Radio goes on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If your home needs updating or you have some projects that you just haven't gotten to, Eagle can help. They install shower doors, mirrors, shelving, blinds, bath hardware, and lots more. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, Eagle can insulate your home and help you save money with fiberglass, spray foam, and cellulose insulation, and can help you decide what's best for your project. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money. The Blitz has been called.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio. I am D Squared. We appreciate you staying with us as we are previewing the LSU Florida National Championship matchup. It all comes down to this tonight: 54-16 Gators, 53-17 LSU Tigers. I've thought before the World Series started, these were the two best teams in the country. It'd be apropos to come down to a third game, and there's a lot of intrigue because who's going to be on the bump for both teams, we're going to see. And if LSU has had quite a run this year. They've come out of the losers bracket already in Omaha, playing 8 games in 10 days. It's been quite a run for them. They knocked out Wake Forest, who many people thought was the best team in the country. They had a harrowing win in game 1. Didn't go their way in game 2, but the beauty of baseball is everything starts over when the first pitch is thrown, and it'll be tonight at a little after 6. And we're honored to be joined by a first-time guest, and he's live from Omaha, so we really appreciate his time this morning as we're going to preview this game from the LSU perspective. He is the senior writer for Go 24/7, a colleague of our good friend Sonny Shipp, and that's Glenn West, and he's with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning, Glenn. How are you?
Hey, Drew, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. What is your biggest takeaway from this? I mean, first of all, I'm envious. I've never had the honor of covering the College World Series in Omaha. Certainly LSU has been a fixture there, but it's been as good a World Series as we've seen. This was really the first game yesterday that I've seen get away from a team. I know earlier TCU beat Oral Roberts 6-1, but there's been 8, I think, one-run games. We saw just a classic game between Wake Forest and LSU to decide the Bayou Bengals getting to the championship series, which is one of the best in World Series history. And then I thought Game 1 was a great ball game, the 4-3 LSU win. What's been your biggest takeaway from watching the action in Omaha thus far?
I would echo those sentiments. I think this has been a fantastic College World Series. It's the first one I've ever had the pleasure of covering myself, and been treated to some really fantastic ball games. I mean, you mentioned it, that Wake Forest Game 2 is one that I'm going to be remembering for a very long time. I think a lot of people in Baton Rouge are going to be remembering for a long time. And you know, it's one of those things where if you the last game against Wake Forest and the first game against Florida, however LSU does in this, the legacy will only mount. You know, I mean, if they go out and lose this game tonight, then you know it'll be a nice memory, I think, for a lot of folks. But I think if they go out and they finish the job here tonight against Florida, those become iconic moments in a program that is filled with them in Baton Rouge over the last 30 years. So, yeah, it was just a pleasure to cover those first couple games. Yesterday, I mean, after getting 2 all-time classics, I guess it was a little apropos to have one that was a little bit lopsided and just not very entertaining after the first few innings. So hopefully we get a much better, more competitive game today, and may the best team win.
Well, and I thought Jay was honest. I was watching his post-game press conference. We were listening to it earlier in the show, and I mean, once it became 8-3, I mean, I know for a while they went with Guidry, but for a short time. But I think they realized once Money ran into the trouble in his second inning of work that this was not going to be their day. And I think but the beautiful thing about it, and that's why I'm glad they switched to the 2 out of 3 format. You know, you've got another game. Florida had to have someone come in and give them innings, which they did. But LSU just sort of emptied the tank from the standpoint they worked a lot of different guys, but they are also keeping some high leverage guys for today, including Riley Cooper. Now, we saw a report about him having a stomach bug. That would be a little concerning. There's also what kind of role is Paul Skeens going to play? I know you've got your ear to the ground, and as Jay said yesterday, they weren't going to decide a lot of that until this morning into today. But what kind of feel do you get about – personally, I just gave my take on it. I would start Skeens and put him on a pitch count. I would try to get at the max 4 to 5 innings out of him because to me, this is what he was brought in to do. He's brought in to win a championship. He's a starting pitcher. He hasn't been a reliever. To me, I would want to get off to a good start. I think that's the key. You don't want to have to come from behind in a game like this. But what are your thoughts on the role that we may see out of Paul Skeens tonight?
Yeah, I would if they're going to go with Skeens, I wouldn't mess with his routine, especially on such short days rest. I would start him if he's up for it. If they feel like they can get 2, 3 innings, 50 pitches, whatever the pitch count limit may be. I think you start with your best guy, and I think if Skeens is comfortable with going, if LSU feels like they're in a good spot to where they can get 6, 9 outs out of him, that would be the ideal scenario, I think, for me. And then you kind of just move through what you have left. I mean, I think Thatcher Hurd is a guy who's proven in Omaha that he can get you 3 innings, maybe 4, depending on where his pitch count is as well. And then I think you probably go with Griffin Herring. You got Gavin Guidry. Certainly, if Riley Cooper is feeling up to it, if he's a little bit better today, and it feels like he can give you a really good closing effort, then I think you roll with Riley as well. I mean, I think that the way that yesterday kind of set up was maybe a blessing in disguise, just in terms of how how bad it got so quickly. If LSU kind of kept it within striking distance, they may have had to use a couple of those guys yesterday. And I think the biggest thing for me with yesterday's game was kind of the offense not really showing up, and particularly kind of advantageous conditions in terms of the wind and how the stadium was playing that day. But you were able to get the pitchers a really good rest, an extra day's rest for a lot of the guys you think you're going to be relying on. And I think that was kind of a blessing in disguise with the blowout win of yesterday.
Well, and what's amazing is, and you've been a part of it because you've been there for the duration, but it's a lot of it is the weather too, because if the wind's blowing out, that ballpark plays totally different, even though it's a pitcher's park.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say probably of 5 of the first 6 games that LSU's played here, the wind was blowing in, and it was very pitcher friendly. That grand slam, for example, that Ty the Florida guy hit the grand slam to make it 7-3. That thing had I was looking at a stat. It had a 51-degree launch angle.
Yeah, they were talking about that on the broadcast. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, over 22,000 MLB home runs, only one had that launch angle that got out. I mean, it's incredible that played such a huge factor and has played such a huge factor in the College World Series in terms of first blowing in and being a very difficult to kind of keep the ball on the ground and get line drives and to fall. So yeah, it's been kind of a whirlwind of just kind of different conditions that the teams have had to adjust to. I'm not exactly sure what the conditions will look like tonight, but whatever it is, LSU's going to need their best effort from their pitching staff, and they've already given you a lot of really good ones.
Well, yeah, and Ty Evans, both those home runs he hit were crazy. I mean, one tied the game up early at 1, and then the grand slam was really the big blow because of the Jordan Thompson error. But that's the other underlying story. LSU had really played, I thought, really good defense up until yesterday. But the beautiful thing is it's a new game today. We'll see if they can get that out of their system. Thompson's really been a solid defensive player, but both of Evans' home runs were tight ropes down the line. I even thought the first one he hit was going to go foul, and it stayed fair as well.
Oh, yeah, a lot of us were tracking that thing, thinking it was going to go foul as well. And I think even, probably a bunch of the Florida, people would think that was going to go foul. But the wind kept it in. And, I think after that kind of grand slam there, I think that's when things started to really go south for LSU. You mentioned the Thompson error there. He makes that play, I would say probably 98 times out of 100 throughout this season. I mean, in 218 attempts this year in terms of balls hit his way, he's only committed, I think, 15 or 16 errors. I mean, he's been very reliable, very dependable this year defensively. He's just had a really rough go of it at the plate. And I think yesterday was the first time you saw that translate into the defensive execution as well. So it was a rough day for him. Jay Johnson is a very confident believer in Jordan Thompson. I would not expect him to be out of the lineup tonight. So they're going to roll with the guys that have gotten him here, and you just got to hope that they play their best game on the biggest stage.
Yeah, and then they did make a change behind the plate yesterday. For the more offensive option, he was coming back from injury. What do you expect behind the plate tonight with Paul Skeens? With potentially, let me say that again, potentially Paul Skeens on the bump starting.
Yeah, I would expect them to go back to Alex Milazzo. I mean, Travinsky, the whole point in getting Travinsky out there yesterday was to see if he couldn't get a hole of one and take advantage of those windy conditions yesterday. So I would expect them to go back to the defensive option, and Milazzo, he does a great job of setting pitches up and making it a little bit easier on the umpire to call those strikes. So I would expect, with a lot of your kind of big bullets still available, on the pitcher's mound that you're going to go with the guy that gives them the best chance to have success behind the plate.
Yeah, I would think so, especially with a guy like Skeens, who his stuff's nasty. You got to be able to also keep it in front of you. I mean, it's as good as anybody in college baseball. And then we'll see if Florida goes with Caglione. Now, he hasn't pitched great in the postseason for the most part, but he has a lot of potential. But a lot of the Gators' high-leverage arms are going to be available too. That's why, to me, whoever gets off to the best start offensively in this game, it's going to be important because, again, it's the way you're kind of setting up your pitching. That's why I think starting Skeens for me from an LSU perspective is the move. Because to me, if you it's kind of defeating the purpose if you get to the seventh inning and you're trying to get 9 outs and you don't have a lead. If it's not tied or you don't have a lead, then why? You'd still probably throw Skeens. But to me, I would want to get the lead behind Paul Skeens. And then this bullpen wasn't good yesterday, but before yesterday it had been nails. And you're going to have hopefully a Riley Cooper, but as you said, you'll also have Thatcher Hurd, who has come out of the bullpen and done a nice job, and Gavin Guidry, who can definitely pitch again. He didn't throw many pitches yesterday.
Yeah, I would expect Griffin Herring, the other true freshman, to be
Good point.
available as well.
Yep.
But I think the biggest thing, and going back to your point with why you should start Skeens, Florida had a really easy time yesterday in terms of seeing the ball, scoring a lot, gaining a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence. If you can go out there and get 6-9 outs from Paul Skeens and shut them down a little bit at the very beginning of the game, maybe their minds start to switch a little bit. Maybe they lose some of that momentum that they had yesterday. And I just think it's a really good boost for LSU. Whenever Skeens is on the mound, they feel really confident in the fact that they can maybe kind of work their way into some offensive success. At least that's how it's been so far in Omaha. And I just think he's the guy that gives you the best chance to get off to a good start. And look, Jay Johnson has said all year, one of his kind of sayings has been, we're going to pitch the best guy that's going to give us a chance to win. And if they think Skeens can be available even for 50 or 60 pitches, whatever it is, they're going to use him. And I think that he's going to be more than fired up to have an opportunity to go help his team win a championship.
No question about that. And your final thought from you, we appreciate the time here on the Blitz Sports Radio. From an offensive perspective, we've seen Beloso have a great series. We've seen Dugas get some big hits. Of course, we know Cruz and Tommy White. Is there another maybe unsung guy that you may be kind of watching tonight for LSU that could maybe play a big role in this?
Yeah, I would say the MVP of the College World Series for LSU has been Trey Morgan, the first baseman. He's been just nails defensively, been making all these plays in terms of saving outs. And, he made the big play against Wake Forest there on that bunt that really, I thought, saved LSU's season there with the 0-0, keeping the 0-0 tie. Morgan's been really, really solid. He didn't have a great game yesterday against Florida, but he's been really good at the plate as well, moving the offense, getting on base, driving guys in. I think he's going to be in for a big game. He's been kind of their big game guy all postseason. He's just had some really, really nice games. And I would expect Trey Morgan to be kind of the guy that if LSU needs a big hit, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Trey Morgan that comes up with it.
Well, great stuff, Glenn. We appreciate your time. Let everybody know how to follow your coverage later tonight.
Yeah, of course. We'll be having a lot of live thread coverage over at our on our board on go247.com. I'll be on my own Twitter account as well at GlenWest21, and then we'll have plenty of coverage. I got a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow out of Omaha, so I'm going to be riding through the night and just head straight to the airport. So we'll have plenty of coverage tomorrow on what happens with LSU, win or lose.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate the time.
All right, Drew. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's Glenn West. We're going to go on a break, and we're going to wrap up this edition of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio when we return.
The Blitz has been called.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
The Atlanta Braves are rolling, and this loaded roster's on a mission to bring home their 6th straight division crown.
Swung on, lifted high and deep to left center field. Go ball. Back to the wall. Jokes. That ball is gone. Home run, Ozzie.
Tonight, the Braves are back in town, and Truist Park is open for business as Sean Murphy and the Braves take on the Minnesota Twins. Braves Radio goes on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
The Blitz has been called.
Welcome back to this edition of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio. And to close down the show, we wanted you to hear a little bit of the post game for Florida as the Gators talk about that 24-4 win over LSU.
The bat's really good today, and the win was in our favor, and it's obviously a tight ball game to start, and then we just won the bats extremely well, obviously. I thought the double play that Blake Purnell got was a huge play in the game, and obviously Nick came in and did a terrific job on the mound. So we're excited about the opportunity to play tomorrow. Obviously we can't take any of these runs in tomorrow. We'll have to reset and reboot, but awfully proud of the way they responded from yesterday's, last night's tough loss.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for the student athletes. Raise your hand. We'll start here with Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun for Jack and Wyatt. Difference in the middle of the order tonight. What was flowing for you guys in terms of seeing the ball, hitting the ball, and creating those run-scoring opportunities?
Jack?
I mean, we couldn't really take what happened yesterday into today. We've played with our backs against the wall before, and we knew not to really kind of let it creep into today, and really just went up there, stress-free and taking it one pitch at a time.
What?
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of did exactly what we said we were going to do. We were going to flush last night and come into today ready to play. And, I mean, the balls were just falling for us today. That's just kind of how it went.
Okay, next question. Yeah, right here.
Ty, can you take us through the Grand Slam that somehow stayed fair for you?
Yeah, I honestly thought I was foul off the bat, probably just like everyone else, but I started just kind of jogging it out, and I looked up at Luke, and he was, spinning around in circles. So I didn't even see the ball land. I just knew it was out once he started doing that.
Okay, back here for Joe.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. Jack, how much did the Grand Slam from Ty, from your perspective, kind of let everyone breathe a little bit, given that it gave you a little bit of a lead and you thought, okay, we're in this game now?
Yeah, Ty stepped up in the biggest way possible this week. Couldn't ask any more of him. It really kind of helped take the pressure off as a team, having a comfortable lead, something that we haven't had this week so far, and we were really just able to roll with it.
Okay, Matt.
Matt Evans, White and Blue Review. Ty, what has this Omaha run felt like for you?
It feels pretty incredible. I mean, not just, me contributing, but just our team as a whole. We got a lot of older guys that are leaving next year, a lot of guys that just really care about this team. So to be able to help, give our team a chance to win it's been incredible.
Okay, Brandon.
Brendan Prizeman, Omaha World Herald. This is for any of the players. Tale of two games for you guys. Yesterday, 6 hits. Today, 23. There's a chance you guys might be going up against Paul Scanes tomorrow. What are you guys going to take away from today into tomorrow, whether or not Scanes ends up pitching?
Jack, you start.
Yeah, you just got to go in it like it's any other game, There's a lot on the line, but, as long as we just keep playing our game, I think everything, the cards will fall where they will.
That was Jack Caglione talking about facing Paul Skeens. It's been a great show. Appreciate Glenn West giving us a live report from the LSU perspective. We'll be talking about this final game tomorrow on the Blitz. And don't forget the afternoon Blitz with the Bandy Man if he's there. Or we'll have Captain Cool certainly there. We'll have the afternoon Blitz today from 2 to 4. Don't forget to tune in for that.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do afterpaint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel.